The Boston Celtics may have the most versatile defense that I've ever seen. They are currently second in the NBA in defensive rating, and it all starts with Kristaps Porzingis, who's averaging 2 blocks per game in just 29 minutes of action. His ability to defend smaller players in space in any situation while being 7 foot is why he really takes his defense to another level. Here, watch how he's shifted right but has the hip mobility and reaction time to quickly flip his hips and opens up at an angle, making it harder for McDaniels to get to the rim. Adding the fact that the unicorn is 7 feet, and it's no wonder why he was able to swat this shot away like Mutombo. Here the ball handler tries to rock him to sleep, then as planned takes off when KB gets tangled up with his teammate. Having a center a full step behind the guard is usually a recipe for disaster, but this is when KP really shows his speed and is able to use great angles in order to beat Wofford to the rim, and again using his size to swat the shot away. I think a lot of players are surprised with how fast he can move. Here Dick tries to get inside at the turn in the corner, but it's if KP was already prepared for it and was able to beat him to the rim. This is a perfect example why all blocks aren't created equal. He wasn't just standing around in the paint and just so happened to block a shot. His IQ, reaction time, and speed put him in position to get the block. Having a rim protector like KP who can clean up mistakes as good as he can is something the Celtics haven't had in a very long time outside of Robert Williams. And one of the biggest concerns for centers in the playoffs is pick and roll defense. In the postseason, teams are very strategic and attack mismatches all game long, which is why bad defenders at all positions find themselves getting benched in the playoffs. Guys like Jordan Poole and Duncan Robinson in the past were getting exposed by teams every series for their lack of defense, so they were benched for large portions of games, which is also bad for the team's offense as they both were important scoring pieces as well. But that won't be a problem for KP. You can't expose him in any ball screen coverage. He can defend in the drop coverage, he can soften hard hedge, and if you switch him to a smaller player, he can move his feet good enough to be impactful. While he is an important part of this defense, you can't mention the Celtics lockdown defense without talking about the two-headed monster, Jrue Holiday and Derek White. There aren't many guards in the NBA who could defend Julius Randle this well. Despite Holiday being more than 5 inches shorter than Randle, he has incredible strength and is able to provide enough resistance and doesn't allow Randle to get deep in post position, which forces him to shoot a tough fall-away jumper while leaning right. Guarding Randle is one thing, but guarding the reigning MVP Joel Embiid is another. Here he looks for Embiid early and picks him up at the 3. Then immediately after Embiid goes below the free throw line, Holiday begins to front the post, which forces Tyrese Maxey to reverse the ball. Then most importantly, as the shot goes up, watch how Holiday stays attached to Embiid, which puts him just enough out of position for the rebound, and Derek White was able to grab it. Boston is ranked second in opponent field goal percentage, and it's because of plays like this from Holiday. Guard screening Holiday would never work because he's just too strong. Then Luke Cornett is able to slow Thomas down with his presence, which allows Holiday to fully attach back to Thomas. And when Jrue is able to get into his space, it is impossible to create that space. He stays disciplined on the pump fake and is able to tip the shot and result. He also is just way too physically gifted for a guard to get physical with him, especially if you aren't a great ball handler. This possession looks like me trying to get past Jrue Holiday. Not happening. And Scotty Barnes will face a similar situation. Holiday's elite pressure defense forces ball handlers to waste a lot of energy on different moves just to get by, and that allows help defenders like Sam Hauser to read the situation and get in position to force an even tougher shot. Derek White, on the other hand, is just as great. As crazy as it sounds, he is more dangerous behind you than in front of you. His ability to recover is insane. Here, even while being beat a couple of times, he was still in perfect position to affect the ball handler. Side note, getting a block with your inside arm in this situation is literally unreal. He's truly a center in a guard's body. He gets a lot of his blocks while recovering after getting screened, which isn't easy, especially when the ball handler snakes around the screen and extends the distance you have to cover in order to contest. But with Derek White, he just naturally understands angles, and you can also tell he really knows his opponents like to shoot the ball in terms of ball placement. It's not an accident that he's able to perfectly place his hand over the ball almost every single time. He clearly watched a ton of film, and that's why he's one of the best defenders in the NBA. Due to the stacked defensive talent on the roster, one defender has been swept under the rug. Jaylen Brown has always been a solid defender, and last season he took a big leap and even played great defense on James Harden in the playoffs. But this season he has taken another big leap defensively. Here he's able to cut off Anthony's driving angle while being off balance. Then he stays active off the ball and stays at the free throw line to give Tatum some backline help. Franz Wagner did it behind the back because he thought by now Jaylen Brown would have committed to Cole Anthony at the three-point line. But you can take more off-ball risks like this when you're part of elite defense who can cover for you and rotate. Here he shuts down another quick guard. Dennis tries to throw him off with a speed change, but it's obvious that JB already seen it coming from watching film. In today's NBA, it's not easy to guard anyone in space, but Brown has excelled at it. But so has his partner in crime, Jayson Tatum. While Tatum has been great on the ball, his off-the-ball team defense has stood out to me the most. Here he realizes the height mismatch in the paint and quickly goes to help. But he has high IQ, so he doesn't fully commit and instead stunts in order to bait the passer into passing it to Grant Williams and comes away with the steal in the process. Here he shows his high IQ again. Instead of fully committing to Josh Hart, he knows there's an open shooter in the corner and sprints to him and ends up getting the steal. However, Jrue Holiday or another one of his teammates may have screened corner to JT in order to let him know someone was open in the corner. Either way, it was still a great play by Tatum and the Celtics in transition. All in all, this Boston defense is so great because not only does everyone know their role, but they execute it at a very high elite level. When you have 5+ really high IQ defenders on the roster, it usually results in great success. They play so well off of each other, and with their versatility, they can get very creative with matchups and defensive schemes, which could cause nightmares for offenses. But let me know what other defensive teams or defenders y'all want me to cover next. Thanks for the support.